nipote del famoso Harvey Milk, che abbiamo conosciuto attraverso anche un bellissimo film. Ma Stuart gira il mondo, porta il suo impegno in tutti i paesi occidentali e non, e quindi ha un bagaglio di esperienza enorme e che porta qui a noi oggi, ed è quindi un grande onore averlo con noi. Stuart si esprimerà appunto in inglese, proviamo a non usare l'interprete, ok? Stuart parla lentamente in modo molto chiaro. Se ci fossero dei problemi poi avremo comunque anche l'aiuto di Andrea e quindi potremo anche tradurre al momento l'intervento di Stuart. Va bene? Stuart ha portato anche un contributo in filmato, dura pochissimi minuti ed sarebbe molto interessante. Più tardi, d'accordo. Quindi io invito Stuart e Andrea a salire sul palco, vi prego di accoglierli con grande affetto.
Thank you, by the way, for welcoming me and for coming and for, I was really so impressed by the critical thinking that you guys both did in your video project and also in the transgender project. So first I just want to thank a couple people. One is Andrea, who is the Harvey Milk Foundation Italy head. Andrea, say hello to everyone. So Mattia from Arcigay Vicenza, and Christine, and of course, your amazing headmaster here at the school, Maria. I love going to a school where someone says, well, if the microphone works, maybe the conservatives were behind it. President Obama would like that. I just wanted to, I'm going to show a very short clip of what the president said about my uncle Harvey Milk. But before I do that, I had a couple of comments that I wanted to share. Number one, with the last presentation. By the way, if someone has trouble understanding me, maybe someone sitting next to you can help with the translation. But I understood that you all speak very good English. Is that correct? So interestingly enough, the transgender community, the challenges globally, is not female to male. It's male to female. We have a lot of very well-known activists in the United States and around the world who are female to male, and the average transgender person who identifies themselves, who was born female but identifies as male, actually their income level goes up, their acceptance goes up, and so it points to the question of sexism. So the biggest issue that the transgender community faces globally is male to female, because society views that as going down. So it really is a very important thing to think about how we treat women and how we respect women and how we see women. So I just wanted to point out when the young lady said that she was kind of not noticed, it might just be that you weren't a good transition to a man, but it could also just be that people didn't see that as a bigger issue and more of a question than a man transferring to a woman. And I wanted to just point out a couple things on that you all talked about in your video. One of the interesting things going on right now globally is gay marriage. And so in 2004, my friend, the mayor of San Francisco, Gavin Newsom, called me and said, I'm going to start marrying gay couples. He had no legal right to do that. Neither the Constitution in California or the US Constitution did it. And I said to him, why are you doing it? Because we don't have protection in the United States as LGBT people in housing or employment. We had some states that did that, but for the most part we were unprotected. We were still discriminated against. We didn't have a national bill that included LGBT people against hate crime. And so the older activists like me were saying, we need that first. And it was young people, it was people like you who said, we want everything. We want the marriage. We don't care that we don't have the rest. We want to be able to have our love celebrated. So it was really young people who demanded this whole movement globally on gay marriage. So we want everything. We want our love celebrated. You know, you don't go to a tolerance ceremony. How many people have been to a marriage, period? Just a marriage. Been to a wedding ceremony? Any kind of wedding ceremony. So some of you have never been to a wedding ceremony. Never went, no one in your family's gotten married?
Nessuno ha mai partecipato a un matrimonio, signore? Sì, e quant'altro. Nessuno è mai andato a un matrimonio.
So, I mean, most people have a good time at a wedding ceremony. It's a celebration. And so it really sets the bar much higher than tolerance. Now, I live in Florida, in the US. It's warm, and we have a lot of things called mosquitoes. So I go outside. I spend a lot of time outside because I like being outside, but I tolerate mosquitoes. Think about that. We don't want to tolerate other human beings. We want to celebrate other human beings. Humans are not mosquitoes. Think of it that way. You want to celebrate the people who are in your life, who are your neighbors, who are your family. So the biggest change that we've seen that gay marriage has presented is people are visible. And when people are visible, there is great acceptance and inclusion because we are known. There's the lies and the myths and the innuendos that people who are against diversity say get dropped down when you get to know people who have been told to you they're bad people or they're non God-loved people. Once they're known to you, it's hard for people to lie about them. And so it's really the visibility that's changed things. And so that was my uncle's message, was being visible. So I'm going to play just 4 minutes of what the president said about my uncle on National American TV when he gave me, on behalf of for my uncle, the highest civil honor that you can get in the United States. But let me tell you again that it is when my uncle was running for public office, so this was what will seem like a very long time ago to you, but it was in the 1970s. It was illegal to be gay, bisexual, lesbian, or transgender, and it was considered a mental illness by the American Psychiatric and Psychological Association, and so nobody was talking about being gay, and my uncle went everywhere and talked about him being gay.